So here is our final look at our PT Cruiser after our third and final run at Venango. You can see we've already started taking stuff off, from our roof signs to the chain and different stuff. We'll take everything off that we can to reuse and possibly get a little scrap for, and the car herself we're just scrapping. So once again, you know, just the little bit of snake bit after I really had a pretty good derby car the first time especially, but even the second time. First time was the battery, second time was the front corner there getting pressed in just right to where that battery box pinned the shifter, and I was stuck in drive, and then we beat her up pretty good, but I said, you know what, I think if we can get her back into gear, or changing gears, might have a shot to at least run a little, you know, get a little smashing up, and maybe even make it through a heat if they have them. And they ran heats, but yeah, the front of the transmission popped off, and just to show, and this is a shout out to Ted and Chase Cobit, you'll see there my shifter, just some loose wiring, but you'll notice there is now just a metal hanger, and that is holding the shifter together. So Ted and Chase Cobit, they said, hey, we can get you hooked up. That's what just broke during about a minute in to the heat, broke off. So again, I'm sitting there running, going forward and back with the shifter, no nothing. The shifter itself, as you can see, broke entirely off. The MacGyver patch job, if you know who MacGyver is, it held. Appreciate that from Ted after my heat, but this guy here, I mean, it eventually broke. My hose up front worked well enough, got pushed in the front. You can see that was creased in, and it popped during the consi. So yeah, I mean, a little bit of unfortunate again. The shifter broke. This girl just kind of limped the last derby and a half to her demise. And just to show something I didn't even see until I got there, but you'll see there's still here for the kind of motor mount here, the holder, it was popped out to the edge. I took bungee zip cords, which you'll still see I have two of them there, as well as a cheap ratchet strap, and I was able to pull it pretty easily over to the corner to keep that in, so the motor mount was actually sitting properly in it, and you can see even two of the bungees still held, and it's still holding it in there. So that did its job. But again, it was super muddy. I mean, it didn't rain at all, and it's just like they put a little water on it, and it just, all the water like soaks down to the bottom. So, you know, it kind of stunk because I wasn't a fresh car to begin with. You can see it took another good shot here in the door. And my clown car going off there on my phone. She's pretty battered up in the back. Still a lot of body left, if you will, if the transmission just, after that first really derby and the beginning of the second, nothing but issues with that transmission. So can't blame the car, I blame myself. I'm the one that kind of damaged the transmission, not fully removing that battery box. And like I said, about a minute we lasted, and then the shifter broke up front. And then in the consi, I don't know, about a minute and a half we lasted, and the whole shifter broke off. And I was stuck in reverse, and then it was losing power because I was losing water, and I mean, the motor just kind of at the end there. And it is what it is, but we junked her. She's officially scrapped. Again, I started taking stuff out, my straps, tank, take that out. My cage, I'll pop off at the weld, reuse that. Otherwise, she is scratched. So it was a good derby car, a little bit of bad luck and bad derby building practice by me. Ultimately did her in, but I can't blame the car. And if I had a PT Cruiser, or if anyone ever watches these videos and was thinking about getting a PT Cruiser, I absolutely think they're a good derby car. Just the front wheels are a little exposed once you take that plastic bumper off. But if you can keep the front wheels clean and don't mess up building the car like I did, or take a dead battery or a bad battery with a good derby car to a derby, which takes you out, I think you got a good derby car. So she's heading to scrap, getting the last of the pieces that we can scrap, including like up here. I'll take the starter out. My spray foam worked great. Other than that, I'll just take like my coolant sensor here, the extra one I have, keep it in case I get another cruiser, just plug that in. Take a couple of the things I can sell for scrap, but otherwise she is done. And it is time to move on in the very near future to our next derby car, which is sitting right over there, the Pontiac Grand Am time to pull her in and start to her.